Alright, it is 9:09 a.m. the fourth day, excuse me, of February 21, and I really could not sleep last night. I mean, I eventually fell asleep, but it was much later. I had a lot of work to do and things to explore. My mind was racing. I have to be pretty cautious, but it's almost like a trader who just found like, so it's like, I've never done drugs in my life before, but I'd imagine it's like somebody finding a stash of crack. um, so here's Interactive Brokers. Very, very cool to have this. Interactive Brokers is right here, and right here, which is supposed to be a chart, but it's very small and minimized. These two things are over where I used to have my order entry right here, and then my order status right here. So it's the same thing, but instead of having E-Trade stuff, it's Interactive Brokers. Alright, so here's the thing. It's not perfect. I'm sure there's going to be issues with Interactive Brokers. I can't trade OTCs. Maybe I've already found this out yesterday. If for some reason they don't like the stock, it's not going to be free commission trading. It's going to be charge you the tiered commission, which is like, I don't know, $2. It depends on how many shares were traded, but they have like a minimum fee. So that's the thing. I can always consider doing TD immediate trade because I can trade OTCs. I'll pay a $6.95 commission just like E-Trade, but it'll be the case with that. That all of them I think are going to be free to trade except for the OTCs. Well, Interactive Brokers might not want to do that. And so here's the thing. I know this is not going to go perfectly. I'm sure there's going to be issues, but in theory, the way I have this set up with Interactive Brokers, and I have to, all the money I withdrew from E-Trade, I have to deposit it here, so it's completely established. Interactive Brokers, or at least any account with a cash account, you can trade an infinite amount of day trades, and I've always known this, but I never really, I guess, put much thought into it because after watching a little bit of trading tickers yesterday, because I feel like I'm having issues holding trades. Although sometimes, I think I do actually pretty fine. I actually watched this DVD and, I compare the way I would have traded and he would have traded. Sometimes he can get much more profit than me because he holds longer. But there are also times where I would have sold at a much better level and ended the trade sooner. But, that's just how people trade, and I'm sure he's traded differently since that video that came out 5 years ago, that DVD. But here's the thing that's really cool about having a cash account that I don't think anybody has really mentioned. Is sure, you can't short. You really can't. And if you're a newbie, I actually recommend you to get a margin account so you're forced to only trade 3 times every 5 days, business days, so you can not overtrade yourself into nothing. Trust me, I made that mistake the first time I got into stocks trying to make it out there. When you have a cash account, you can scale in and out of trades. I think that will help me a lot get into trades that I normally get too scared to get in because of position sizing. It seems like a lot of potential. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of issue. Now I'll find out. I have speed keys enabled here, so you just type the ticker. I don't know, let's just play SPY. And then as soon as it's entered like that, bam, you can start using the speed keys. You can cancel orders, close positions. I have the speed keys configured. It was a bit easier to do. I deleted all the speed keys on E-Trade just to make sure that I don't accidentally get in a trade with E-Trade. So that's all disabled. And yeah, I still have this account here because I like the charting. I'll be paying for the data and probably E-Trade Pro at some point. But this is a great potential, and I'll just have to see how it goes. AACG is the first day stock. It has very good volume. Long-term chart seems good. Not anymore. Big volume day here, although it was, you know, now a year ago in a few months. Almost 2 years ago, actually. There could be people selling into the spike. There's actually going to be resistance here at $4, which it seems like it might have affected it today. Definitely not the best long-term chart. ATOS, worse. It's a reverse merger stock. Not a reverse merger. What do you call it? When you reverse split. Just a nice, I mean, not too bad. It could be worse, but it looks like it just blew out of this range right here. That's why I put blown there. GME, just watch. You know, I'm not gonna trade this. I think the war is over, at least for now. LIZI, impressive because it's a third day stock, although it's not trading anything that I want. THTX. You see how excited I am with this trading. I have to take it very cautiously, but nothing here. Might be an all-day fader for all we know. I'll definitely keep looking. No true setups right now. Yeah, just no true setups right now. I'll definitely keep looking and see if there's a nice setup. As of now, pre-market, nothing really that good that I want. Alright, it is 9:32 a.m. Here's the thing with ATOS. It held for a few times. So we had a wick here, and then a wick in this candle at 4. Now it's rebounding, at least for now. I don't know, of course, how long it'll be. I was looking back and I was thinking, all right, well, if it maybe gets at the 380s, and kind of holds the 380s, that will be a great dip buy opportunity. Here's the thing: when you look at a daily chart, there is humongous, and I should have noticed this, there is humongous support here at 4. It managed to break past this today, and the fact that it tried to hold for a few candles, that wouldn't have been too much of a bad dip buy, although it seems to be struggling right now a little bit. That could have been something to have taken as a trade. That was a trade I was looking for, but instead of realizing the significance here at $4, I looked here at what is this, like 380. So yeah, just a reminder to check all the time frames, make sure everything is the way you think it is in terms of what the past resistance support levels are. So yeah, I'm gonna keep looking. That was a nice potential setup, a quick dip buy in the $4 range. I guess now it would be very close to it. Yeah, 10% trade in the 440s. Just absolutely saw this, but did not take into consideration the round number 4 and the support right here. That's a pretty good setup. I missed just because I was looking at here. Should have looked further back, but yeah, I mean, even if it doesn't work out, that was still a good setup to trade, even for just a little. Okay, it's 9:42 a.m. AACG did a nice intraday breakout above this 417, a confirmed breakout because it went right back to the 417 level. It held support. Sure, not perfectly, but again, technical analysis isn't perfect. A very small breakout here, but it can continue. So, we'll see if it can get into the 5s. I just did not see this happen. I was looking at another stock. ATOS, this is the one I consider a dip buy, although I had the right idea, not the right price target in mind. Got as high as 490, so that's impressive. Considered maybe a dip buy here in the 450s, but I didn't like it because this thing didn't really put up a higher high from here. It was just barely higher than this range, so for that reason I didn't want to get in the trade. GME, not really looking at it, although I did a nice panic. I guess it's going to start bouncing again for the dip buyers. LIZI on the 3rd day, just no clear setups that I want to trade. Looks like it put up a bull flag. Maybe you'll do a continuation of that, but not going to trade it. And THTX, I'm going to remove it. It's just fading the rest of the day. It could reverse, obviously, but I want to trade stuff that is a little more volatile. This is very impressive. I wonder if it's gonna hold above 5 and break past it. You know, pretty nice. Setup here with ATOS. Yeah, I'll definitely keep looking. Missed a few setups, but you know, nothing I really want to trade right now. Okay, it's 9:55 a.m. I considered buying here just because it's putting up higher lows. The issue is that before these two candles were here, it kind of looked like it was putting up a lower high, which isn't good. Although it has this bit of an uptrend here, I think it was just less of a probability that it was going to work. Considering the fact that I in theory have unlimited day trades, at least until I exceed the the amounts I have in that account, I'm doing a pretty good job. Not because the last thing I want to do is over trade myself down. I have to wait for good setups to trade, and I'm still missing setups despite the fact that I have this ready. But I do have some fears of it, having some kind of issue. Like, I try placing a trade and it says, oh, well, this doesn't apply to the free trading, whatever. Maybe for the peace of mind, I'll consider a TD immediate trade, and then I can instantly trade OTCs $6.95. However, it would be cheaper trading interactive brokers with OTCs, as long as you're not buying a million shares or something. Very nice here with AACG. Again, didn't want to consider it because it was looking like a head and shoulders. This was a failed head and shoulders. Nice breakout, or at least at the moment at 520. I need to remember these breakouts tend to be a lot slower than it appears in your mind. Yeah, no setups right now, although there was a nice one there. LIZI did pretty nice, very nice uptrend. I almost thought it got halted in this candle. It ends. Just a very impressive move. Just nothing I really want to trade right now. Not really a level of support anywhere for this. If I don't trade today, that'll be totally fine. Just could be mental preparation with the fact that I could literally just, for example, LIZI, right? Bam, and now I press a button and I'm in a trade. Like, I have to take that seriously. So, no setups right now. Just gonna keep going at it. Really happy that I'm in this opportunity. A bit sleepy. I'm gonna keep looking at these stocks in the chat room, but right now there's nothing to trade. Okay, it's 10:20 a.m. Yeah, definitely just a bit sleepy. Just not very just not as focused as I could be. AACG putting up the first lower low from this range right here. If it doesn't make a higher high from this range right here, that would be bad. Even if it gets somewhat close like here, that could be a head and shoulders. Not the best thing. ATOS is also starting to do a bit of a fade. I'm not gonna trade this. Even if it puts up a somewhat higher low, just not a good setup. I want to wait for good setups. Wow, GME actually just cracked this 82 level right here, now in the 79s. That's pretty big, and I'm gonna guess it has plenty of room to keep going down. Looks like the dip buys are not doing that well. Out of curiosity, AMC is also down in the $8 range. Looks like it might even try to pull off the same crack, maybe at 820-ish, or if it wants to 810. The difference isn't that much. It might follow up and do the same thing as GME and crack that level of support. It looks like it's maybe lagging behind it. Pretty impressive. LIZI, yeah, eventually cracked. I mean, it dipped here, sure, but I wasn't gonna just buy this. It was a gradual fade, not a quick fade like this right here. So I wouldn't have done that. Lots of opportunities missed, but I don't feel too bad because I'm really just adjusting to this, and I do have some fears with, interactive brokers, gonna start charging some random fees or whatever. It's not even the fees, it's just the thought of something delaying me when I'm getting in an entry. Maybe I'll consider a TD immediate trade. I'm gonna look through the chat, and it's funny now, you look at the chat, people are well, maybe not right now, but people were complaining about E-Trade being crappy with their executions. I'm glad that's not a problem with me anymore because I got out of it, but I have to just probably catch some sleep. Gonna study a lot today and work on my business and be ready tomorrow. I'm still gonna watch for the last 18 minutes just to go with the 1040 rule, but honestly, it's just to really just mentally prepare myself. I'm not gonna probably trade today. Very unlikely. I just got a lot of things I can be working on, a lot of rest, a lot of adjustments made to consider this new configuration of trading with a cash account. Many day trades available because I'll have a larger account, not enough to get past the PDT, and even if I did, maybe just a little, a bit of a loss, and you're under the PDT. So I can do away with not being able to short right now, but if I can scale in and out of positions, I think that'll be just amazing. Okay, it's 10:32 a.m. This is the closest I got to trading today. Definitely missed the opportunity to buy. So what I see here is a potential inverse head and shoulders. It's a bit risky because it doesn't have to spike up to the 480s and make a shoulder at a neckline, to make the neckline for inverse head and shoulder setup. It looks like this one might try to. Saw it around here, didn't want to trade it because we didn't have a big wick to risk off of. But once this candle made and it had a big candle to risk off of, I then waited for that candle of consolidation, a small candle. It did exactly that. So when it transitioned into this new candle, I should have bought immediately here in the low 430s and then risk off of 420. So I'll be risking in that sense 12 cents, if it cracks this level. And then the reward, well, is going to have resistance, of course, here. It is up a lot, so it could definitely go and downtrend. It could also just not make the inverse head and shoulders. I've seen that happen plenty of times before. A lot of things to take into account, but it's not a bad setup to risk off of 420, the wick here, and see a potential inverse head and shoulders on the first day stock. I'm gonna wait. If this thing makes an inverse head and shoulders, so it downtrends, spikes up, and then downtrends around here, I don't see why I shouldn't consider it. It's gonna have levels of resistance everywhere throughout here, but I can trade a small position just to get a feel for it, especially with the new broker right here set up. I might consider TD immediate trade, but I'll keep looking. It's going to depend on how much the fees are going to be. Interactive brokers might do better executions than TD immediate trade, so I'm going to have to take that into consideration. Just very impressive so far. We'll see if this setup works out or not. If it doesn't, I'll definitely just call it off for today. Really missed a lot of setups, but I can't be too upset because I am pretty tired for going to sleep around 2 a.m. Just doing a whole bunch of things, but I have all of this set up. I can sleep early today, or at least sleep on time, catch up tomorrow, kind of let this whole thing just soak in my mind, understand the new potential outcomes, just really prepare myself to be really optimized for trading and scaling in and out of positions. And I probably need to change my speed keys and make like a 50 share entry position if I want to trade super small, or if it's a $12 stock, I can trade a $600 position instead of a $1,200 position with 100 shares. So yeah, I'm going to take these things into consideration. It seems to be failing. If it kind of catches itself at 430, that would maybe still let it work and round off. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this was still a good setup nonetheless, even if it doesn't work out. Okay, it's 10:45 a.m. I'm gonna call it off. Yeah, it worked out. It was a nice setup. You could have bought into 427s. Sure, a little scary here, but it never broke under 430, never broke under 420. Had this nice spike here to the 480s. Then it made a quick drop right here. Didn't it? I guess it's gonna do it now. It could make the shoulder now. I kind of thought that maybe it just made a quick tiny shoulder right here, which means I didn't get in the trade for that. reason, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. ATOS kind of put up a double bottom here, not exactly perfect. It did do a nice spike though, just less volume, less volatility in this stock, so less likely to consider trading. LIZI looks like it's trying to put up a cup and handle over this breakout level, maybe here in the 1180s. Only issue is 1277 is going to be some big resistance. It could work out. It doesn't have to fail, but probably won't trade it for that reason. I guess I'll have to keep looking at AACG. It might try to make that inverse head and shoulders. I thought it was just going to make a quick shoulder here and it's done for. If there's a big, there's a nice shoulder and then a big wick to risk off of, I'll consider going long. I guess I'll make an update later, but for right now, it's just going to be a watch. Okay, it's 10:50 a.m. I definitely missed this setup, but I don't feel bad because it wasn't the way I wanted it to be. First of all, this candle didn't close as nicely, so it didn't turn out to be a big wick to risk off of anymore. And then the next candle made a wick slightly below it, and then this one made a candle slightly below it, and then here comes a big green candle. So not really the way I'd wanted it to be, so I didn't trade it. I regret this one much more than this one, but I am pushing myself, I guess, to start taking it more seriously. I guess not be so tired, just to concentrate more. But really, not a bad one to miss because it wasn't really that perfect. It could do a nice run up here because it looks like it's trying to consider cracking the neckline. If it does it, just a good inverse head and shoulders here. I'm gonna definitely save a screenshot of this so I can look back at it. Definitely had that potential here to buy the inverse head buy for the head and shoulders. Worked out 427 to 487. Not perfect, but it was pretty good. And now it looks like it's going to try to test 5, which will be impressive. Still nice that it cracked this neckline. Plenty of opportunity to sell into. ATOS again, just not nothing I want to trade anymore. I'm definitely going to call it off, but a very nice dip buy opportunity here. Again, had I have looked at the long-term charts, maybe not too long, but $4 is a lot of great support right here in this whole range right there. Should have noticed that. That's where it dipped to, the $4, not necessarily the 380 that I was trying to do. Pretty good setups from there. That was the main one with this one that I remember. GME is just a bloodbath. I'm just not going to trade it. LIZI, it's pretty impressive too, that breakout it did over here, and then that confirmed breakout right here, the dip buy towards the previous breakout level right at 1270. A bit of a choppy stock, but this was a good one nonetheless. Definitely going to call it off here. Just going to be more prepared tomorrow. I'm going to get some more sleep and going to do a lot of work for today. Just really happy with this opportunity I've had. I mean, I might consider TD immediate trade. I got to trade just a little with Interactive Brokers. I know their platform isn't as laggy as E-Trade and Thinkorswim has been, so yeah. I'm just gonna have to call it off for now. Just a pretty good day. Just gonna, just really adjusting to this new idea that I can scale in and out of positions, which will be amazing. Something I've never been able to do, and that's what all the big traders do. They scale in and out of their positions. They don't go all in and all out like you do with the PDT. It's just like trading like the successful people, scaling in and out. Have to make sure I don't kill my account by 1,000 paper cuts, right? Gotta be disciplined, but considering all the setups I missed today, that's probably a good thing that I'm probably not going to overtrade. Just going to continue going at it. Just a really good day, a lot of great things. Thankful to God. This is a good path. Had I have not have broken a PDT rule, would have never considered doing a cash account, scaling in and out of positions, a limited day trades. No shorts, but it could be way worse.